Today is Tuesday, February the 9th, 1988. It's 10 minutes to 10 at night. I would like to talk about some horses and ponies I knew in my young days. And I will start off with a little Connemara pony, and his owner used to call him her Cannonball. She was called after a famous Connemara stallion that was named Cannonball. So he called this young filly Cannonball. And there's a little story to how he got this pony. A man out in the north side, out Sharafaran country, he had this little filly, and he was very fond of her, and she was a real pet with him. So anyway, the man got sick and he died. And the filly came down the hill this day, and she came to his door, and she put her head in over the half door and she whinnied for the man. And the man was up in bed dead. And it seems she had some idea that something wasn't right. So she went up the hill again, passed out the other horses that she had been with, went over another hill or two until she came down to Shrathru, and there was about 3 horses on the hill in Shrathru, and she fell in with him and she stayed with them. Well, the son of the man that died, he had heard that there was a stray horse down in the hill in Shrathru, so he came looking for her, and they went up and they rounded her up anyways and put a halter on her, and he took her home. And he let her up the hill with the horses. And she kept going again until she came right out over the top of the hill, and kept coming until she came down to the 3 horses in Shrathru. She wouldn't stay out there anymore. So he came again looking for her, and Michael Kine asked him, "Why don't you sell her to me?" He said, "But she won't stay with you." So he did. And they made a deal, and he was in, I don't know what he paid for that pony, but she was a beautiful pony and turned out to be a great little horse. Purebred Connemara. Well, I have a weather vane out in the backyard with a horse on it, and I christened the weather vane Cannonball. Now, one day, myself and Michael Kine and my father, we were banking seaweed out under the joices in the springtime, and out under the strand gate. And when the tide went out far enough, we went back from the strand gate back under joices. So there was some good stuff over there. And we had worked all day, banked it up above high water mark. And in the evening, when it was getting near time for coming home, my father said, "We better get out of here." He said, "The tide's coming in again." So he went on ahead of us, and we picked up and took whatever we had. We had a half a load on the carton. So, and a few cleaves, forks. So we headed for home. So coming over beyond the Black Cliffs, getting in sight of Leenan village, there is a rock that juts out, and it comes down like that, and it juts out into the water. Well, when we come around the corner, we saw that we had stayed a little bit too long. So Michael was driving the mare with a loose rein, uh, and when he got to the rock, um, he was trying to keep her out in the water. The water was coming up on the rock, up a good bit on the rock. So he tried to keep her out, and she wouldn't go out in the deep water. And she was trying to come up on the rock, and of course I knew with the cart on her and the half a load that if she ever come up on this slippery rock that she'd go down like and we'd have trouble. So anyway, I rushed by Michael and I grabbed hold of her by the head and I pushed her away out. And the water was nearly up to the top of her back almost, because it was up to my chest. So I brought her around and I kept her out until I brought her around off the rock, and then we were fit to come back in. Well, Michael Kane looked at me and he said, I wouldn't do that for £1,000, he said. So I said I didn't want her to burst her knees on the rocks when she'd fall, and that's what would happen. But she was a great little mare.